Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Power Lunch Live. I'm your host, Andrea Swedan, founder of Altitude Connections, where we bring together remarkable minds, stories of impact, and the people who are shaping culture, hospitality, and community in extraordinary ways. Today, I have the immense pleasure of welcoming a true culinary legend, someone who has shaped the gastronomic landscape here in Quebec and well beyond. Born in Italy, trained in France and Italy's Michelin-starred kitchens, and now an iconic educator at the Institut de tourisme et l'hôtellerie du Québec for nearly 30 years. Chef Pasquale Vari is more than just a name in food. He's a mentor, a television personality you know from Les Chefs on Ici Radio Canada, and a culinary ambassador whose expertise has touched even royal plates, literally. Chef Pasquale, thank you for joining us. It's a true honor.
Thank you for having me and thank you for the introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So let's get started and begin. What sparked your love for cooking back in Calabria?
When my family decided to go back to Italy, because
Yes?
we immigrated here to Canada, I was a young child, and then we decided
Okay.
to go back. Back then, the school system is very different than the Canadian. So
Okay.
I had to kind of choose a type of schooling if I wanted to go into more like math or science, health.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I had a passion for at least, I had a slight passion for anything that was architecture.
Okay.
And I wanted to go to a school for architecture. Only that I didn't have my math yet because my Canadian equivalences were not at the same level. And
Ah,
my second choice was going to a hotellery school. So I went
okay.
to a hotellery cooking school in Vibo Valencia, Calabria, and I
Okay.
did that for a year and a half of a 3-year program. And then things didn't go as planned for my family, so we decided to come back to Canada, to
Okay.
Montreal. And then I
Wow.
continued my education, my general education, and then after I immediately went to the Institute of Tourism and Hotellerie of Quebec because I wanted a type of local diploma. I could
Right.
have found a job anywhere, but I wanted a local diploma, and that's what I did, and that's how I fell into cooking. Mhm.
Well,
And I
but
don't and I don't regret
you
it.
must
Yeah.
have always loved cooking though.
I always liked eating. I was
Okay.
always very curious. I believe that we all learn how to eat at a young age. The minute we are a year and a half or two, and we start
Okay.
sampling food, that is when
Yes.
our education begins towards food and towards culture. So
Interesting.
it is important to share whatever you have on the table with your kids, because
Mm-hmm.
that's opening up their minds and their culture and explaining this type of product may come from China. Type of product may come from Peru, and this
Right.
product may come from North Korea or South Korea or whatever. So you're opening up the horizons, and also you're exposing children to different
Taste
taste
buds.
buds, yeah, which are very
Absolutely.
important, and textures
Which,
also,
yes, which is
because
very important.
yeah,
So wait, so you went to the culinary school here in Quebec, in Montreal?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
so you're not only a mentor there, a teacher, you've also have been educated there.
yes. I was educated there in 86, 87, and 88. I did a
Mm-hmm.
3-year program. And then I had a restaurant for 5 years. I traveled, I worked in Europe, France, and Italy in different Michelin star restaurants. And then
Okay.
in 1995, I was approached by l'ITHQ because they began their Italian program, an
Okay.
Italian cooking class, and
Mm-hmm.
they asked me if I wanted to teach with them part-time. So I did
Ah,
that for 2 years, and I got my feet wet in the educational system, if you want to call it.
yes.
And then I decided to go back to university. I went to the University of Sherbrooke, where I did a certificate in what we call in French psychopédagogie, for
Okay.
la formation professionnelle, which is basically to teach a trade. And I did that for 2 years part-time, and I don't regret it at all.
Wonderful. That's
Yeah.
nice. Oh, 30 years passes fast.
It passes fast, but I'm still not done. I'm
Okay.
eligible if I want to retire in a couple of years, but I don't want to because I feel I still have a lot to give.
Good
Yeah,
for you. That's very
yeah,
inspiring. See, that's why we do these power lunch
yeah.
lives, is to inspire others. But you trained in some of the most prestigious kitchens in Italy and France. How did that shape your culinary philosophy?
Uh, I learned back then discipline.
Okay.
Uh, you need discipline to work in big kitchens where we were looking at a kitchen staff of at least 8 to 10 to 12 people. Plus the front of the house, we're probably looking at a combination of 25, 30. And if in order to serve each guest perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
you need maximum discipline. It's not as if just we're in a restaurant and it's just you and I in the kitchen and we
Mm-hmm.
know each other, we know how we move, we know how we think, and we could basically socialize and have fun while working. But when it becomes anywhere, I'd say over 6 people,
Okay.
you need a lot of discipline. It's almost like a band, like an
Right.
orchestra.
Right.
Everybody has to be perfectly tuned to make sure that the evening goes well, and so I loved it because I needed a bit of discipline back then, and I wanted to
Okay.
experience the maximum of authority. I
Of
wanted to
course.
experience the maximum of this is what we want it. It has to be like this. The way you dice your tomatoes today is not acceptable. You have to restart. And
Okay.
I liked it when they told me that,
Okay.
you know.
And you kept it when you what you learned, the philosophy you learned back in Italy and France, you kept it, you implemented
Yes,
it.
because people, when they go out to eat, they
Hmm.
go out and they want to have fun.
That's
They
right.
want to experience and
Hmm.
have fun. They're not going to the hospital to eat something to make them feel better health-wise. They want to have fun. So it is very important, especially for the amount of money it costs nowadays, that
So
everything
true.
has to be perfect.
So true.
Everything has to be perfect. We are very fortunate, especially here in North America, especially in Montreal. We have a
Hmm.
wide selection of great restaurants, so
We
the
do.
competition is tough, and the consumer has a choice. And it
That's
is
right.
very important that his dining experience is perfect from the minute he puts in his foot in the door uh, till the very end. You know?
Absolutely. The whole
Yeah.
experience, his dining and his dine needs to be worth it.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Dine and
And
dine.
and I always find that it's more important
Hmm.
front of the house than back of the house because a mistake, if a mistake happens in the kitchen, if I accidentally undercook, overcook, or maybe the temperature of the vegetables wasn't really
Hmm.
perfect, and I made a mistake, but a good
Okay.
waiter, a good waitress will be able to correct my mistake. We'll be able to maintain the
True.
customer's pleasure. Whereas if it's the opposite, if there's a mistake done in the front of the house,
You
no
can't
matter how
fix
good the
that.
food is, it's impossible to fix.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why it's always
And what
important to have
of
servers with smiles.
with smiles,
Yes,
exactly, and to think ahead.
always. Yeah,
Always. It's like you said, it's like an orchestra. You're a team
yeah.
that you each orchestrate a part. And what has been the most rewarding part of mentoring the next generation of chefs?
Uh, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it was seeing local kids, local French Canadians,
Okay.
learning a technique, then going out and doing it properly in
Mm-hmm.
a restaurant, even though
Right.
it's not an Italian restaurant. The restaurant does
Okay.
not have to be identified as an Italian restaurant, but they're probably doing a carpaccio, or they're doing a risotto, or they're
Mm-hmm.
doing a freshly stuffed ravioli, and
Okay.
they're doing it properly, and they're using local products. That is where I get my maximum satisfaction.
Good.
I had the best tortellini in brodo in Montreal, in a
Okay.
non-Italian restaurant
Oh,
made by a French-Canadian chef, ex-student that did something properly and was done well. The proper thickness of the dough, the stuffing, and all that, everything was
hmm,
just perfect. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So,
believe the technique is important, and also
yes,
the product is very important.
where the
So
product
if
comes from.
and then there's culture involved into it, in the sense of I could be a great cook, I could be a
Okay.
great chef. I know my techniques,
Yes.
and if I were to do, for example, I'm just gonna shoot this off like this, a couscous or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll make a very good couscous. But you take a chef that has that culture of making couscous all his life,
Right.
he'll probably make it better than me, you know?
But I
And
think,
that's where
well, it's
culture, yeah,
normal. Right.
yeah,
Culture does affect. Yes, you're right.
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
you grew up with it, right? So,
I I had 7 years ago probably the best tourtière,
okay.
French Canadian meat
Yes.
pie for
Yes.
Christmas,
Yes.
made by a friend of mine, and
Okay.
she's originally from the Saguenay area, and
Okay.
you could by just eating, you could see, okay, this lady here that's 65 years old,
Mm-hmm.
there's 40 years of experience in making this meat pie.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Again, it's culture,
yeah,
right?
of course, yes.
Yeah. So, million of Quebecers know you from Les Chefs. What's it like judging such a high stakes culinary competition?
I love it. I get to eat for no. I get to basically what we're trying to do is always promoting talent, and
Okay.
it's a competition. So we create an environment where we push them to the maximum, and we have these great chefs, these great cooks that will sometimes
Okay.
will
Mm-hmm.
stumble, and
Mm-hmm.
we try and pick off on these mistakes. And we're exposing them to these certain conditions in 2 hours where they have to make uh, uh, 2 or 3 preparations, and it has to be
Okay.
good. So it's not like something that they prepared in advance that they could train, and almost like a routine. Okay, an Olympic skater, or just gonna anybody who has a routine in any kind of sport will practice that routine and will become very, very good.
Right.
These cooks have no routine. They have to under 3, 2, 1 go, and
Okay.
you've got to give it your best, and it has to taste good, look good, and especially taste good.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
Yes.
look good. That must be stressful though, I must say.
It is stressful for them, but it's an excellent environment for them in learning from each other. We push them to their maximum, and at the end, they love it. Some of them during the 8 weeks filming
Mm-hmm.
period,
Yes.
they say they mature probably a year to 2 years professionally
Okay.
because of the
Interesting.
contacts, the people that they are with.
That's right.
They're surrounded by other great chefs. So
Okay.
their mind is always thinking food, talking food. They think even in their sleep food.
Wow. Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
But
And
between, sorry, go ahead.
and last year was our 14th year of Les Chefs on
Okay.
air.
Yes.
So we try always to do a good job to expose the great talent,
Yes. I see you do
the
that.
great products, and
Mm-hmm.
be fair and square with our comments in the sense of when it's doesn't pass, it doesn't pass.
Okay.
If it's overcooked, it's overcooked. If it's undercooked, it's undercooked. And if you made a bad decision in terms of harmony,
Mm-hmm.
um, we'll penalize you for it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow. Okay. I wouldn't like to be there, but
yeah.
anyways.
No, nobody invites me for dinner anymore. So
Yeah, exactly. But between Les Chefs and Cinq Chefs dans ma cuisine, you've become a household name. Do you enjoy the spotlight or do you prefer the kitchen behind the scenes?
I enjoy the spotlight. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy being in front of a class. I enjoy being in front of a group. I could
Okay.
stand up in front of 30, 40 people, 100 people, give me a mic and talk about food for 5 minutes, like I could talk about food for 3 hours.
Wow.
I'm not intimidated by a camera. I
Okay.
enjoyed very much my stay with Cinq Chefs dans ma cuisine because I
Okay.
was actually cooking. At Les
Mm.
Chefs, I
Okay.
taste, I analyze, I critique, but in Cinq Chefs dans ma cuisine, I enjoy cooking and I enjoy telling people this is a proper way to cut an onion. This is the proper way to sear, but this is the reason why you sear like this, and this is the benefits of it.
Okay.
So it's part of whenever I'm cooking, I don't have nothing to sell, nothing
Mm-hmm.
to flash. I have no restaurant to promote. I just want people to learn the proper technique to go back home. And after, if they want to redo a recipe, that they have the proper technique
That's
to
right.
make sure it works out.
Right. Well, you're a
Yeah.
teacher, right? You're giving the right
And it
tools.
happens naturally. So I do like the spotlight, and I do like
Behind the
sharing
scenes.
my knowledge. Yeah,
Absolutely. That's nice. So interesting.
thank
I
you.
see in your bio in 2011 you prepared a dish for the royalty.
Yes,
Do you want to share that experience with us?
I was chosen. We were three colleagues at l'ITHQ. We were
Okay.
chosen to give a master class to Prince William and his
Okay.
wife Kate Middleton while they
Mm-hmm.
were on vacation or honeymoon in Canada. And the way it
Oh,
worked out, they had many activities. So the federal
okay.
government said, okay, they're going to play hockey in Alberta. They're going to go
Mm-hmm.
canoeing in BC,
Mm-hmm.
helicopter riding there, and we're going to give a cooking class to Quebec. So Quebec will handle the food aspect. And the
Okay.
provincial government said, we're going to give this task to l'ITHQ. And
Oh,
l'ITHQ chose myself and two other colleagues to give them a master class that was supposed to last 45 minutes.
okay.
And in the end, it lasted almost an hour and 20 minutes. And then they
Oh,
had dinner. So we were in charge of all that. It was
okay.
a fun moment of my life because the preparation leading up
Uh-huh.
to
Mm-hmm.
this event was security and all that, the protocol and blah, blah, blah was quite unique. And we
I'm sure
decided to serve three products. Our menu was based on three products
from
that
Quebec.
from Quebec,
Mm-hmm.
the lamb of Charlevoix, which is
Okay.
the first lamb, the first product in Quebec that is recognized as an IGP product.
I
And
see.
that was the main course. Then we also used lobster from the Madeleine Islands, and
Exactly.
we had strawberries from Ile d'Orléans on the dessert. So we
Wow.
were promoting local products done in a modern way, where
Uh-huh.
they had to actually participate and cut and
Okay.
cook and all that.
Of course. And
Yeah.
what better way than to show our own products?
Yes, yes. And remember, this was at a Saturday, and
Uh-huh.
the next day was a Sunday, and nothing really happened internationally.
Okay.
So like nothing happened in the middle of the first week of July. So a picture of Kate Middleton
Mm-hmm.
and myself and my colleague and other students.
Mm-hmm.
We made like the front page of almost every paper around the world because they had
Oh,
nothing else to
wow.
talk about. And and here is Kate Middleton wearing a chef's coat, with a
Uh-huh.
beautiful smile and
With Chef Pasquale.
no, but it was just a unique picture, like such
Yeah,
a
I'm
moment they
sure.
captured that, and again, nothing happened in terms of a tragedy or that that
Right.
that weekend. So all of papers had nothing to write about. So there we are, and I'm
Well,
getting
it's
phone
good to
calls from
talk
all over
about
Europe.
positive and fun things for a change.
Yes, no, it was a great moment of my life.
I'm sure, I'm sure. You talk about modern cuisine. So how do you balance tradition and innovation in cooking?
Modern cuisine is more basically reducing fat, lowering portions,
Okay.
having a more balanced menu because the products themselves haven't changed that much. A tomato existed 100 years ago, like
True.
a pork, lamb, fish, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Only that today's time we eat much leaner. We won't cook with so many animal fats, but more vegetable fats.
Mm-hmm.
We reduced enormously the quantity of red meat we've been eating. We've
Okay.
increased the quantity of vegetables. We're trying to have more of what we call uh, the Mediterranean diet,
Right.
which was introduced to the world in the 1990s, and how come in Greece, Turkey,
That's true.
you know, north of Africa, people are living a long life and this, and he says, well, just look at what they eat, you know. They
Mm-hmm.
have red meat maybe once every 2 weeks, but they'll have chickpeas, they'll have beans, they'll have fava beans, they'll have fish, poultry, greens, and I think modern cuisine is based on that. Is based on choosing smaller quantities and having a more balanced meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And also
see.
the way you cook it, like
Yes.
not so
No, that's
much.
true.
You're not going to have to in the middle of July. If anybody's having a braised piece of meat tonight, it's not appropriate. You're better off having a piece of grilled or sautéed rather than having something that's been cooking for 24 hours. That's
You're
more.
right.
Keep that for the winter.
You're right. This question is not prepared. I'm going to be very spontaneous. What oil do you cook with? I
Uh,
had to ask that. You know,
I
olive oil, vegetable
olive oil,
oil, olive
olive
oil.
oil. Yes,
Okay. Okay. I
I
had to
cook with
ask that.
I cook with olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
I will fry.
With?
I will deep fry with sunflower oil.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
good.
Now a lot of people
Interesting.
are probably saying, "Oh my God, he cooks with olive oil." Olive oil, like any other fat, has a burning point, a smoking
True.
point.
True.
Like if you take butter and you put
Mm-hmm.
butter or margarine in a pan, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
melt it and you're going
Mm-hmm.
to see change in color. That's what we call our smoking and our burning point. When you get to that point, your fat is decomposing or it's not becoming very good.
Okay.
It's breaking apart. It's being more of a nuisance for the health. So as long as you do not burn your olive oil and you basically control the heat, there's nothing wrong with eating olive oil. And olive oil is uh, what has been said to be the best fat, vegetable fat, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of its structure of poly, mono, and saturated fats. Because our body needs a bit of three, but the olive oil and the way it's based is the one that is highly recommended by doctors and cardiologists and all that. There are other
Amazing.
types of vegetable oils, but they're higher in saturated or higher in poly. So the balance is not the best. But anything that's done with a bit of uh, being a bit modest and not too much won't hurt. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy with your answer because that's
yeah,
what I use. So
yeah.
I'm good. So
Yeah.
what is one ingredient that you can't live without
Uh,
as a chef?
uh, I would have to say salt.
So that's a
Salt.
good one.
Well, it's a season, but I very fond of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese,
Yes. Yeah.
and I could eat that for breakfast, for midnight snacks.
Okay.
I always have a piece or two in my fridge,
Okay.
uh, but I enjoy everything. I think food is always buying a good product,
Mm-hmm.
making sure you understand the technique,
That's
because
right.
until 30 or 40 years ago, we were always taught by our grandparents and we were taught the local cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
But in the 1970s, the 1980s, transportation, open borders, we were starting to be exposed to products that we didn't know.
True.
Nobody here in Quebec in 1970 or 1960 had access to, for example, pineapple or kiwis or,
You're right.
or or products that come from the Pacific or the the Caribbeans. So by being exposed to these products via
Mm-hmm.
transport, it's not just that regular fish that they always fished in St. Lawrence. Now they have a fish that's they're probably not comfortable with. So learn a bit more of the technique, ask questions. If you're going to have something that's not local and you have no point of reference, don't be shy to ask around or ask questions. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, last question before we wrap up because I had so many, but the time is passing. What advice would you give to a young chef or hospitality student that just started out?
First advice is you have to finish your high school.
Okay.
Okay, Some people will say, well, me, I want to become a cook. I don't need to go do my math or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to be a good cook, a good chef, you need
Mm-hmm.
your math for calculations of food costs and all that,
True.
kitchen management, science also, to understand the science of cooking, of how food reacts and products react.
Okay.
Chemistry is also important. So it's very important to finish your school. Two, if you want to become a good cook, a good chef, come to the THQ. Whether you're Anglophone, Francophone, whatever language you speak, we accept everybody. We
Okay.
have students that come from all over the world, from all over Canada, from all over Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the THQ is the place to go to learn the basics, where you become, you just learn the minimum. Then it is important after to choose good restaurants where you're going to continue your education. Okay?
Okay.
Choose good restaurants when you're at school. Ask the teachers, ask
Mm-hmm.
friends, family, is this restaurant better than this restaurant? You'll always want to go work for an established chef, a restaurant that works, that
Mm-hmm.
runs, there's a turnover, and that will allow you to evolve properly. You could be an engineer, you could be a lawyer and graduate, but if you go work for some Tom, Dick, and Harry type of establishment in a garage,
Mm-hmm.
you'll never probably become a great lawyer or a great engineer, you know?
True.
So if you
Absolutely.
come to l'ITHQ just because you have a diploma, that's not enough. You have to go work in good restaurants
You have to
for a
have the
good
experience as well.
the experience, because the experience we say in the food industry, in the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen,
Yes.
it's not always white or black. There's the gray area, and the gray area is really enormous.
Okay.
So
I
it's a
see.
lot of experience that will allow you to properly make the right decision at that critical
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Nice. Nice advice.
Yeah.
That's good. So it's more than just education and certificates.
Yes, it's more than that. It's hands-on and working in great restaurants with good
That's right.
leaders in a clean environment where with good equipment and good
Mm-hmm.
products. There
Okay.
are a lot of great restaurants in Montreal, so a person will
We do
never,
have a lot.
yeah. And the people that really want to take it a step, they could go work in Europe, in France, England, Portugal, and also learn a different language and also learn different cultures.
Of course,
Yeah.
absolutely. Great advice. Well, Chef Pasquale, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing your
you.
journey, your
Yeah.
wisdom, and your warmth with us today. It's been a true pleasure having you. To
Yes.
everyone watching or listening, this will be transferred to YouTube and Spotify if you missed today's episode. Stay inspired, stay curious, and remember, hospitality is not just about service, it's a connection.
Yes.
Until the next time on our Power Lunch Live, I'm Andrea, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All the best.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye.